Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm starting in this warehouse. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second, but we've been busy. We've been busy this year, that's why I haven't been posting. So this is the first year of, the first video of the year, so Happy New Year and Happy 2020. And before I get to the truck and that video, I just wanted to show you what we've been working on. This is a warehouse where we will be opening Daily Classics. That is our business with Casper. We're just preparing this place for it to be what we want it to be. We're gonna have a lot of cool things in here today. We're gonna get some containers for the offices we're gonna have in the back. This whole area is gonna be our little parking spot. We're gonna be renting out these places to people who want their cars to be taken care of and don't have the space at their homes or outside to keep them. And the last part here, the photography area, this is where we're going to be taking pictures of cars, and it's kind of like a studio for cars instead of people. People can come here as well, obviously. And also really excited about, at the end, we're going to have a hangout area where everyone can come and chill and just, you know, hang out with us. We're going to have like coffee, you know, some sweets or, you know, food, whatever. Like that's going to be over here, that area, like hangout, TVs or projector or something, we still don't know. But we are super excited. This place was very raw, so we got the walls painted, we got the ceilings painted. I don't know if you can see that, but very, very excited. Now, the reason why I'm here is I'm waiting for those containers I mentioned before, but I'm gonna go to the truck and we'll talk about ownership for half a year. It's actually been a little bit more than that, but I'll let you know the rundown of what's it been like owning the 1500 2019 Ram Rebel.
Good evening, everyone. And the highlights of the news this Thursday. Traffic accident. A Beaver County man is being held for murder. And more labor.
All right, so right now, the truck is really dirty. This color is Maximum Steel. Absolutely love it. It's kind of this gray with a hint of like really deep blue. I guess it's like the flakes that are blue, but the paint is silver kind of. At night it looks black. When it's cloudy, it's kind of gray. And when the sun comes out, there's a little bit of like this bluish hue that comes. It looks really cool in real life. I'm not sure if the video right now is doing it justice, especially with it being this dirty. But you know what? Trucks are meant to be, this thing especially is meant to be dirty. This is an off-road variant of the 1500, so obviously, you know, you gotta go off-roading, you gotta take them shortcuts to avoid traffic, and you know, they're usually muddy, so that's what you end up with. I've also installed a couple of things on this truck. I'm gonna talk about that now. We got a new exhaust system on it, as well as front and back bumpers from ADD, and kind of show you what's happened to this truck. Got a few door dings, unfortunately, in the side. I don't know if you can see that over there, but you know, it's the thing of this part of the world that happens a lot. And yeah, I love this bumper. The bumper got hit not long ago over there, but the skid plate kind of saved it. Well, just basically the skid plate, but it kind of warped there, so something I just either need to bang out or keep. Kind of just gives it, like, you know, some history, and shows off that it's actually been used, not babied. Haven't changed the wheels and tires or anything. I really like these tires. They're very good off-road. Have no issues with them so far. We'll be changing them maybe in the future. I don't know. I don't want to promise anything and not do it. But let me know if you guys have been running some better tires, some different wheels, anything that you'd like to suggest, let me know down in the comment section. All right, so we're in the Ram right now. Absolutely love this thing. It's been a great journey so far. The specs of the truck, kind of fully loaded without the trailer brake thing. And that's kind of what I had to get, because the Dodge dealership here, and we only have one since it's a very small country, Bahrain in the Middle East, they only ordered one type of spec, and all of them were exactly the same. The only difference was their color, and that was pretty much it. So they kind of have to do that. They do their own like reconnaissance of the market and see what people like and so on, and what people would potentially buy. Just because that if you want to order something from Ram, it takes 6 months for it to get here. So if I want something specific that I, you know, would love to have, then or options that I really don't need, then I would have to wait 6 months, and it would be a special order, and it might cost me a bit more because they were bringing them in bulk and so on. So I'm just gonna block this guy so I can make this turn, because I'm never gonna get out. And And yeah, so that's basically why it has all these things. And I'm not necessarily unhappy about that, because it's really nice having all the different features that this truck can have and that you see on like different reviews. And obviously before I bought it, I was checking out the reviews myself, doing my own research, trying to find out what I really like, what I would love to have. And this has everything. I mean, it's the Ram Rebel 12, you got the big screen, I got the 4-corner air suspension, which is, I mean, some people say that that's not a good thing. I think it's a good thing personally. It's really comfortable. I mean, you can lift it up whenever you need it. It's fun off-road. It's never given me any headaches. We've been off-roading, we did road tripping, and I honestly feel like this air suspension on a longer trip really is worth it, just for that extra added comfort, as well as you can go into this aerodynamic mode, which lowers and saves you a little bit of MPG. But you know, at the end of the day, it is a V8, you know, Hemi truck, so you're not buying this thing for MPG. And I realized a lot of people were very angry with me when I said that it has, yeah, it's bad on gas. Well, obviously, yeah, all right, I get you. So far I've almost driven 10,000 miles, and I'm telling you, each one of them was me smiling. This thing is, I mean, I get into it, I'm never bored of it. I had cars before that I get bored of after a couple of months and be like, yeah, whatever, like the fun factor is gone. This thing is like, I can't wait to get it in the day, and I drive it more than the Hellcat now, which is, you know, like, I love the Hellcat, but this thing is just so easy to get around. You don't need to worry about anything. You got that clearance and so on. It's freaking great. Off-road, well, it is a champion. It won. We took it to Saudi Arabia for this Hemi festival thing, and then they had this off-road kind of racetrack that they built and put together, and yeah, Casper drove this truck and we won it. We beat modified Jeep Wranglers, we beat modified trucks, we beat Grand Cherokees, Durangos, pretty much anything on it. Like, we had the best time in our category, which was also the best overall time, which people weren't expecting it to be a truck, so that was kind of hilarious. And really cool, you know, that a stock truck pretty much, because it hasn't, you know, had anything major done to it, which is heavier probably than the stock truck with these bumpers, was, you know, the fastest. So that's really cool. So in general, like most people, this truck is 90% driven on the road. The tires that you get with it are a bit noisy. They're definitely noisier than the tires you get on any other truck from the 1500 range, but they're not that bad. Like right now, I've kind of like muted them out and I can't hear them anymore. They're part of the exhaust. They're part of the sound the truck makes, and that's it. And it doesn't bother me at all. And you know, the Harman Kardon system, you can use that, play your own music to kind of blot it out, and then you're fine. But there are some issues with that audio system and the big screen. So I want to just talk about that. The audio, the Harman Kardon system, there's some kind of buzzing noise coming from the bass. It's not very clear. It sounds like there's something going on. I don't know if that's the speaker itself, but like it's not as crisp as it was on day one. So that's a shame. With the 12-inch screen, I've had a couple of times where I get in the truck and the screen would like lock, or it would glitch out in such a way that whatever, like, you know, you can't touch it, you can't reset it. And usually what I do is I just drive home, turn the truck off, the next day it works. It's not the greatest thing. It happened to me 3 times when owning it for like 6-7 months. So I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but it, you know, it does happen. So I don't know if there's an update that will come out later on and kind of just, you know, stop that from happening, but we'll just have to see. The navigation, as I mentioned in one of my reviews that I did about this truck like earlier on, you know, it has this thing that, you know, sometimes it won't pinpoint the location, or have like an old address saved for a street or something, which is kind of weird. So it'll like take you to the general area, but it'll be like a street off. So I use it sometimes, but not as much as I use like Google Maps and stuff. Another thing with this system, so I mean, everyone in the US, you guys don't have this problem, but if you live outside the US, I'm not sure about Canada, I think Canada is still okay. Android Auto does not work. Well, it does work, everything is fine with the truck and everything, but you can't, it doesn't like work in this region on your Android phones. Apple CarPlay works fine, but Android has been, or Google has been messing up, and like you can't download the actual app. It says like it's not available in your country. So if you're thinking that you will have Android Auto with this system and you're in the Middle East or somewhere else, double check that Android Auto works in your country on your phone. Now, only after owning this truck for a long while do you get to see some things that you don't really notice on your test drives or your initial drives with the truck. Now, I know that in the US, 70 miles an hour is the kind of top speed you guys got there. But here, it sometimes goes higher than that. Now, when you reach a speed around 140 kph, I don't know, down there it's in miles, there's a whistle that comes from somewhere. I'm not really sure where it's coming from. I opened the roof a little bit so you can tilt it up, and then it kind of goes away. But then it comes, like, you can hear it from another place sometimes. It's very weird and very annoying. This only happens when you're doing like high speeds or there's like a lot of wind. You're going against the wind, then you can hear it. There's something that whistles and it's really, really annoying. I drive in a straight line, it doesn't happen. See? But when I turn a little bit, it's like at some weird angle that it whistles.
Probably they are testing a wind tunnel. Alright, straight. Alright, cool. Works.
Yeah. That is the weirdest noise.
It wasn't like that though. You didn't bomb it like this on the way down here.
I was doing 137 or something, yeah. But when it comes to my complaints, it kind of ends there. There's nothing else that is annoying or I don't like about, and that's what I like about this thing. It's just a very good car. It's a truck, but it's a good car. It's a daily kind of thing that you could just drive anywhere, have no problems, no issues of getting there. I have no clunks. I've got no weird noises. I've been off-roading this a lot, and I do take a lot of shortcuts that are quite rough on a daily basis, and I've never had any issues with the air suspension. I've never had any issues with the shocks. Never had nothing. I cannot say a bad thing about this truck, and a lot of people were saying, you know, it's a Ram, it's gonna do this, it's gonna, no, that's BS. It's been fine so far. I know I haven't driven a lot, you know, to kind of, you know, it's not 50,000 miles or something like that, but it's gonna get there. I'm getting there. I'm doing more mileage now, and I've never had a hiccup. It's just been a great experience for me, and I'm really happy with this truck, and I think everyone would kind of be really happy with this truck. There's nothing that much, you know, that you wouldn't like. The interior is great. I think the leather inside the truck is better than what I have in the Hellcat, because the Hellcat, the side bolstering was kind of like, you could see like the leather kind of cracking. Nothing like serious. It's not like breaking or like you can't put your hand inside or anything like that. But it's just like cracking that really earlier than you would probably expect in a, like, you know, from a new car. And this, I feel like the leather is a bit, you know, more durable. I had no issues with any of it, to be honest. It's very strong. And just the space in general, you get so used to the amount of space you have in this. You get into anything else and you're like, it's cramped. You even get in a big car, it feels cramped. I really like the layout they've done here. It's super comfortable. The back seats are super comfortable. I have friends who'd rather sit in the back than the front. They're just like, you can lay down. We did that on the road trip as well. Like, there was 3 of us, so one of us would be sleeping in the back because we woke up really early just to get there in good time. The back is great because, you know, the seats fold up and everything, but, you know, it's not like the previous Ram that had a kind of a bed that would like so you'd have like a flat floor. But because of that, I can put higher things in the back that I don't necessarily want to be taking in the bed, that I don't want to get, you know, dust on or anything. This is a really dusty country. I'd rather have, you know, those kind of things in the back, and it's just, you know, perfect because when it comes to the height, you just have a little bit more clearance. The back seats also, they have ISOFIX, you know, like for kids. And so my daughter, she's 3 years old, really loves the truck. She doesn't care for any of the other cars we have. She's like, if we're going somewhere, it has to be in the truck. And when she's in it, like, you know, she's in my wife's car, she kicks the front seats and they get dirty and everything. You know, kids, like, what are you gonna do? And this, she can't reach them. There's so much space. And you know, she got the sunroof, always opening that for her, so you know she can look about and see what's going on. You know, you're in the higher position, so she can see out the window. Great vehicle for kids. So things that I've changed. I spoke about the bumpers earlier. I got bumpers from ADD, front and back, and I really like the look, as well as I'd rather have steel bumpers in a country like this, just to give that extra protection for the truck, because here a lot of people sit on their phones and, you know, they get into accidents and it's just kind of dangerous sometimes. So I'd rather have that extra protection on the truck. It also looks, as I said, really good. The front bumper gives me more clearance in the front, so I got, you know, I can attack more, you know, steeper angles, and you know, it just feels good. They do weigh more than the stock bumpers, obviously, and you kind of feel it a little bit, but you know, you still got that big V8, so you got the power to like to move about, and you know, after a while you get used to it. The exhaust is from American Racing Headers. I went with them because they did the headers on my Hellcat. I love the quality, and one thing I really look at in this region is the quality of, you know, the craftsmanship, because over here, if whatever you get, if it does not withstand the heat, it just will break after a while. And those headers have been fine for me so far. Nothing's ever happened to them. They're like the company I work with, SMS, who does all the installations for me. They say they've never had any issues with them, and they have great customer service. So that's why I went with that. Not like a Borla or like a Corsa or anything, you know, that is one of those brands that make these really loud exhausts. And I don't think a really loud exhaust does fit a truck. I mean, yeah, it sounds cool, but it's not really that fast. I mean, if I see a car that's loud, I expect it to be fast, and if it isn't, it's kind of a disappointment. So like, you know, so I like this. It has a good rumble, sounds a lot better than the stock, and I also had like videos of each of these things that I've talked about, with, you know, the bumpers, the exhaust, everything like that. It's all on the channel, so you can check them out if you are interested in hearing or like going into detail about them. So to kind of close this video off, wanted, you know, just to mention the things that I've done to the truck so far. I want to do things to it in the future. Well, that came out wrong. And I can't. The tonneau cover is it just flaps around, and it's easy to actually just open it and get in, so it doesn't really protect what you have in the bed. The ram boxes, however, are a great thing. I've always mentioned this. We use them actually a couple of times for just putting ice inside and putting drinks, and it was around 40 degrees over here, and at the end of the day, the drinks were still cold. It was, you know, we started early in the morning, and at the end of the day, the drinks were still cold. So it's a great thing if you're like thinking about overlanding or just doing a short desert or like whatever adventure or whatever you want to do. Perfect, you know, the best place to put it. And it also has drain plugs, so once you're done, you just open up the drain plugs, you know, just let all the water go out, and you know, it's just very, very easy. Right now I also have like things that I won't be flying around in the bed, so got like jumper cables, some like extra tools, like the kit you get with a truck and everything. It's all there, so you don't get, you know, things flying around in the bed, and you can use the bed. You have more space there. Yeah, the Rebel is here to stay, and there's no reason for me not to like it. It's my first truck. I've never had a truck before, so if you've never had a truck before, or you're thinking about getting a truck, I would highly recommend this as a first, because it's very much like a car, as I mentioned earlier. Has all the technology that you're used to, with all the capability of an off-road truck. So yeah, I think that's how we're gonna end it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you. Take care.